Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 522 based on novel. So let's start. Human boy, good talent, thank you very much this time. The human man standing on the sarcophagus glanced at Xiao Yan and the two of them lightly, and then the sharpness in his eyes instantly subsided, and a gentle smile emerged. Xiao Yan and the two did not respond, and looked at this guy with slightly serious eyes. We are monsters, and we are most concerned with integrity. This is the specific trace of the holy flame. The holy flame also exists in this cave. If you need it, go get it as soon as possible, or you will lose all your efforts if you go too late. After a while, the heavenly evil blood tiger waved its palm, and a palm-sized green light group gushed out, directly ignoring Xiao Yang's position. It is indeed the breath of holy flame. Xiao Yang took over the light group, and there was indeed a trace of holy flame in the three senses, so he narrowed his eyes. This guy's behavior seems to be against common sense. Happy transaction. This king needs to retreat and cultivate here. The two. Tian Xie didn't shy away, and spoke directly. While speaking, he pointed out that the fierce ray of demonic energy actually ripped apart the solid stones surrounding the cave. That kind of strength is not something that an ordinary six-layer reincarnation rank can possess. This kind of fluctuation is undoubtedly telling Xiao Yang and the two that although he has just broken the seal, his strength should not be underestimated. If that's the case, let's leave it. Lina, let's go. Xiao Yang took the holy flame light group and flew out directly with the color scales, and ran out of the cave. Two idiots. If it wasn't for the fact that this king has been suppressed for countless years and his strength is limited, how could something like the holy flame be cheap for you? But what's under the sarcophagus is enough to make up for my loss. After this guy sneered, he actually got into the coffin, and the crack closed again. The mysterious prohibition was broken by the color scales. Today's coffins are extremely ordinary, but they are filled with a monstrous demonic energy. Such a richness is probably not something that the heavenly evil blood tiger can possess. The dim void outside the cave, in the four elephants' cave heaven and earth. Are we just leaving? That guy didn't look right, and he urged us to leave so much. I'm afraid there is something tricky in the cave. And there seems to be some force in that sarcophagus that is attracting the 10-colored sky-swallowing python. The two quickly left the cave, but Kaylin frowned along the way, obviously a little worried. Don't worry, it can't run away. And the thing in the sarcophagus doesn't seem to be simple, so let it be tossed first. Let's go see if this holy flame still exists. As soon as the words fell, the group of light suddenly turned into a giant energy tiger responsible for guiding the way, running in the void of the Xixiang cave under the urging of Xiao Yang. The so-called four elephants' whole void is actually a special different space. The scope of this space is extremely huge. In addition, the perception of the soul is blocked. If it is not for the guidance of the evil blood tiger, I am afraid that Xiao Yang will be extremely difficult to find. Just in front. Be careful. After about 10 minutes, the two followed the guide and came to the top of an unremarkable mountain. At this time, pieces of gravel, debris, and even strange mummified corpses appeared one after another. The ground of the entire cave looked like a very dangerous place. On one side of this mountain peak, there is a green figure standing aside like an ancient statue. Its figure, however, is dormant with the shadows of many dusty stone statues, and above those things, there is a faint mark of a griffin. Lion. Griffin. The attack power of this monster is extremely strong. At this time, there was a trace of worry in Kaylin's beautiful eyes, and she couldn't help but said, I hope we won't be busy for nothing. When Xiao Yang saw this, the holy flame in his body surged together, quietly surrounding him, and it turned out to be walking towards the griffin little by little. The moment Xiao Yang was walking, a strong green aura emerged from the ground. At the moment when these green auras gushed out, Kaylin clearly felt that the air in this dark mountain peak had become dry, and the wild and incomparably hot breath actually made the sky-swallowing python power in his body slightly vigilant. The swallowing python is cold, and has an extreme hatred and perception of flames. Boom. And just when Xiao Yang was approaching the latter, the statues of the mummified corpses all over the body came to life strangely, their bodies swiftly swept, and they turned out to be slaughtering Xiao Yang's vital points. Tianshou Farxfai, wake me up. Facing such a dangerous scene, Kaylin's delicate body trembled in the distance, and a small 9-colored snake was dormant on top of it, but Xiao Yang's roar also sounded completely at this moment. Following Xiao Yang's roar, the 7-colored flames in his body rose like an incomparably bright scorching sun. Boom. At that time, The griffin-like statue was instantly surrounded by a green flame that was extremely strained. Even those creatures controlled by it seemed to be unable to move under the pressure of Xiao, such a majestic sacred flame. The green flame was filled with a faint seductive power, but at this time, when facing Xiao Yang's 7 holy flames, a tremor from his soul caused the griffin to crawl quietly. I am the controller of the holy flame, and it is inherited from the demon emperor. As he spoke, a huge figure of a demon emperor appeared on his body. Follow me, and I will let your holy flame shine on every inch of the land in the great thousand world. Xiao Yang did not move again, but spoke slowly. With the appearance of Xiao Yang's voice, the griffin's shadow suddenly shattered, turning into a green holy flame crystal and a pool of holy flame origin, quietly appearing in front of Xiao Yang. The 7 kinds of holy flames on Xiao Yang's body are too terrifying to suppress the foxfire, and now the appearance of the demon emperor on Xiao Yang's body makes this holy flame smell familiar. Even Xiao Yang's voice was like the scene of that stalwart man leading 36 holy flames to deal with the catastrophe alone during the war between heaven and earth, and it poured into my heart again, so Tianxia Foxhuo didn't have any hesitation, and instantly sincere. Take it down. It really is the holy flame. I devoured it here first. I will protect you, Dharma. Cai Lin was slightly overjoyed, and her undulating chest was also quiet. Don't worry, this holy flame has wonderful uses. Xiao Yang poured out a pure halo of holy flame, and easily suppressed it into his soul realm, but then the figures of Kailin and Mu Yingying appeared in his mind. What Fen Ju lacks now are some mysterious things before he can step into the ***** rank and swallow the holy flame again, which has almost no effect on his cultivation technique or even the growth of his strength. Yingying and Kailin might be a good choice. Boom. While the two of them were in such a state, on the dimly lit ground thousands of meters away, a beam of demonic aura that shook the heavens and the earth suddenly rose up. In that kind of fluctuation, there is a strange fluctuation that resonates with the ruler of the gods, and even the power of the 10-color swallowing python is slightly ecstatic. In the originally dark and dead Xixiang cave alien space, a very embarrassed black shadow stood in the void, and the majestic and monstrous demonic energy all over his body turned out to be suppressed by the energy in the entire alien space became disorder. At this time, living in this place, dormant here, and even many creatures trapped here, their hearts are condensed, and their breathing becomes rapid. But the next moment, a pair of scarlet greedy eyes emerged from countless directions in this space, and the aura moved rapidly, swept away frantically toward the center of the battle, and the fluctuations included some evil spirits, as well as some human beings. Soul Phantom. That deafening terrifying power destroyed the entire alien space in a mess, and even above the pitch-black giant shadow, one after another conspicuous scars gushed out, and the blood slowly dripped, miserable, as if suffered something before this. Destroyer's trauma. What's the movement? The strong energy impact made Kailin turn her head subconsciously. Where is the void? At this time, there is a faint sense of brokenness, and a trace of scarlet blood is unexpectedly scattered in the void at will. Moreover, such fluctuations seem to be somewhat similar to the aura of a heavenly evil blood tiger. The core position of the energy came from the cave we just left. Kailin's beautiful eyes shrank again, as if realizing something. The precious value of that thing seems to be above my guess. Go. The two looked at each other, got up and swept towards the center of the battle. However, at the same time, not only Xiao Yang and the two, but also some evil auras dormant in the Xixiang cave, seemed to be fatally attracted, and they converged on the cave location one after another. A real treasure battle started slowly at this time. Boom. This guy, is he finally willing to do it? Sister, our time has come. Just when the world looked like this, in a dark forest in the distance from the battle center, 2 pink butterflies fluttered their silver wings, and after a while, they turned into 2 human women. The strength of the two of us is only at the 5-fold reincarnation level and half-step 6-fold reincarnation level. Will it be too risky to do this? The 2 women are one big and one small. The tall woman can't help nodding her head and shaking her head, as if she is worried. And why is the seal of the heavenly evil blood tiger loosening? The tall and slender woman spoke again. Sister, it's too late. Only by devouring the power of this guy can we leave this damned place. The petite woman snorted coldly, a colored mist glowed in her eyes, and her aura seemed mysterious. Go. As soon as the voice fell, the 2 of them stepped away and whizzed away directly at the core. At this time, the human body suddenly disappeared, and the dark black fierce tiger body with a size of 1,000 meters was exposed in the void. On the dark black fur, surrounded by a bunch of green monsters, it seemed that it was this power. Tortured the latter to let out an inhuman roar. Under the erosion of the green light, The fur and flesh quickly festered and melted little by little. The entire tiger's eyes were filled with a scarlet and ferocious meaning, and the heart-piercing pain permeated it. Heavenly evil blood tiger. Your end has come. In the gigantic void, two slender figures suddenly appeared in front of the gigantic monster, surrounded by a gentle demonic energy. Forcibly enduring the terrifying pain of tearing his soul out of his palm, his tiger eyes moved, staring closely at the two women in front of him. On the faces of the two women, there were light blue veils hanging on them, covering their real faces, but looking through the green dresses, the delicate bodies seemed to contain some kind of terrifying power that shook the universe. At this time, behind the two women, there was a pink butterfly only the size of a palm surging. Wind butterfly, Long Xiao. Above the sky, the two women joined hands to act, and a huge green storm swept out, and even two inconspicuous pink butterflies were dormant. For a time, the huge monster storm with violent roars and demonic sounds, unscrupulously swallowed everything here, and swept away at the body of the evil blood tiger monster. Damn, two little demons who are not in the mainstream, also trying to sabotage this king's plan? Seeing such a terrifying attack, the heavenly evil blood tiger let out a sarcastic sarcasm, his whole body shook violently, and a dark red energy beam shot up into the sky, hitting it abruptly. Bang bang bang! Two terrifying attacks flickered in the air, leaving only an afterimage, and they collided together. At the moment of the impact, the entire alien space suddenly beat like a heart, and the void here would collapse completely at any time. The two terrifying attacks collided, and each other released ripples of terrifying energy that devoured everything, causing countless creatures with greedy thoughts to escape. Such violent energy has already swayed the entire space of the Xixiang cave. This level of battle is not something that these weak creatures can resist and interfere. The attack continued, but the purpose of the two monster beast women did not seem to be to defeat the heavenly evil blood tiger, but behind the seemingly ferocious attacks, one after another pink butterflies suspended strangely in the heavenly evil blood tiger's monster. On the body of the beast, it turned out to be a very complicated arrangement of lines. The power of repression. These two women seem to be preparing to suppress the heavenly evil blood tiger. What is their purpose? The most important things like monsters, blood essence or magic core? Seeing this scene, Xiao Yang and Kaylin quietly hid aside and muttered to themselves. Xiao Yang. The heavenly evil blood tiger seems to be holding something in the palm of his hand. The call from the depths of the blood soul is too strong. In an instant, when Kaylin looked at the huge body and palm of the Tianxia blood tiger, a coldness appeared on the pretty face, pressing her hands on her chest, and just suppressed the 10-colored power that was trying to break out of her body. Down. Hulu, is that a demon world tyrant? Xiao Yang's eyes moved, but when he saw the tiger's palm tightly clenched by the heavenly evil blood tiger, he could smell a domineering and arrogant aura. That kind of fluctuation, although it is not comparable to the sky-splitting demon spear in the hands of the demon emperor, but it is not inferior to the latter. Based on Xiao Yang's experience and perception, he can clearly determine it by himself. The thing protected by the palm of the evil blood tiger this day is one of the powerful weapons in the world of bite. A touch of surprise slowly poured into his heart, but after a while, the surprise in Xiao Yang's eyes disappeared instantly, replaced by a touch of ecstasy. Lina. We want this thing. A touch of invisible fluctuations, like a mighty wind blowing the Buddha, but it slowly outlined some mysterious lines in this strange space, and even the night pearl that had just been obtained, at this time, it actually shone strangely. A touch of ancient and powerful power, like a giant dragon, dripped from the night pearl and spread out, and the energy in the whole world suddenly dimmed. Who? Get out of here. Sensing that the surrounding void began to distort, an extremely powerful repulsive force filled the void. The beautiful eyes of the two monster beast women suddenly moved away from the heavenly evil blood tiger, constantly searching for new things in this voidous enemy. The source of this fluctuation is even more terrifying than the heavenly evil blood tiger. Heavenly evil blood tiger, you really have a good abacus. In order to spare us, even using holy flames, it turned out that it was just for himself to steal the tyrannical weapon. Suddenly, a cold snort resounded through the heavens and the earth. In an instant, Xiao Yang and Kaylin's bodies reappeared in the void, staring fiercely at the tiger shadow below. However, there were hundreds of thousands of patterns on their bodies, which were continuously released. With a trace of terrifying repressive power. Humanity. Isn't our deal done? At this moment, countless mysterious and complex forces around him slowly gathered towards Xiao Yang, and the heavenly evil blood tiger's eyes suddenly shrank, and he lost his voice. On Xiao Yang's palm, he slowly held a night pearl. That pearl was the key to controlling the formation of the 4 gods and beasts in the cave. If it wasn't for this tyrannical weapon in his heart, how could such a fetishist take over Xiao Yang in vain? Sister, do it. Suppress him with the power of butterfly shadow, and I'll stop them. The petite monster woman was graceful, turned into a streamer and slaughtered Xiao Yang and the 2. She seemed to know how troublesome Xiao Yang and the 2 were, so once she made a move, it was a monstrous killing move. Breakthrough. When Xiao Yang was dealing with petite monsters, the power of 10 colors under the skin of the color scales suddenly became strange, a touch of supreme aura above all things, accompanied by a looming snake shadow, slowly emerged slowly. In the sky, the heavenly evil blood tiger was constantly being attacked by tall monster beast women, and on the other side, petite monster beasts were also being attacked by Xiao Yang. You two, why don't we work together to kill these 2 human beings? The treasures in my hands and my blood will definitely be presented to you. At this moment, the Tianxia blood tiger's huge eyes kept flashing. Obviously, with his weak strength that he had just broken, he still had to protect the bully in his hand and deal with the 4 people in front of him at the same time, which was very difficult. Okay. The 2 women looked at each other, and then there was an overwhelming sharp storm all over the body, which suddenly sounded in this void, sharp and ear-piercing. Hoo-ho-ho. In the face of such a powerful attack, Xiao Yang smiled faintly. The spiritual power in his body was driven to the extreme. The night pearl flicked with a flick, and 4 slightly illusory figures of divine beasts crossed endless time and space, with fierce eyes dormant on Xiao Yang. Beside him, screaming. Bang! The shadow of the 4 divine beasts and the 2 monster beast women instantly attacked together, and the strong fluctuations caused their delicate bodies to freeze slightly. Obviously they underestimated Xiao Yang's strength. Give me death. Seeing that the 2 monster beast women became vulnerable under the pressure of Xiao Yang's formation, even their bodies were frozen in the void. Disregarding the repressive power of those pink butterflies, the tiger's palm lifted up, and the bully weapon it was sheltering flashed out. Crack! The blood-stained tiger palm swept past the 2 monster beast women, and before the 2 monster beast women had anything to do, a domineering green monster light swept up. The woman's body was completely smashed into pieces in the sky, and a trace of the origin of the monster was injected into the body of the heavenly evil blood tiger little by little. Ha ha ha. Ignorant humans. This is your doomsday. With the influx of the strength of the 2 5th-layer reincarnation level powerhouses, the weak quasi-7th-layer reincarnation level strength in the Tianxia blood tiger is also slowly recovering at this time, and a monstrous madness pervades the sky. Xiao Yang squinted his eyes. The shadow of the energy of the 4 divine beasts was under his control, and it seemed that he could launch a powerful attack at any time. Let me come. At the critical moment, Kaylin just shook her head, and then the power of the 10 colors in her body seemed to be provoked by some kind of provocation, and it turned out to be rapidly recovering. For a time, there was a gloomy wind in the entire void, and countless energies fled everywhere. It seemed that there was some kind of ancient thing, and a shadow appeared here. What is this? Wait. Is this the 10-colored sky-swallowing python? At this moment, the suppression in the blood seems to have caused the heavenly evil blood tiger, who had regained a lot of strength, to crawl in the void. The tiger's eyes shrank tightly, and the tingling sensation of the scalp spread throughout the body. Even the terrorist attack and the power of the tyrannical weapon brewing on the tiger's palm were instantly calm at this moment. In mid-air, behind Kaylin, suddenly there was a huge snake body that was bewitching. The latter was tumbling frantically. Wherever he looked, he could clearly see the densely packed 10-colored power on the snake body, seems to depict a sky-high demon glow. Under that kind of pattern, even the quasi-7th level reincarnation level strength that he had just recovered a lot has become cowardly. The snake body rolled, and the huge demonic force suddenly shattered the void pressure, and a trace of colorful halo quietly fell off from the snake body. The void twisted, and a chilling touch suddenly swept out from the depths of the evil blood tiger's soul. Based on its experience, how could it not know that the illusory shadow dormant behind Kaylin is the overlord of the ancient monsters in the demon world, the 10-color swallowing python? I have eyes that don't know Mount Tai, please don't blame Master Shutsai. This is the 4th tyrant in the demon world, the sword demon, please accept it with a smile. At this moment, the heavenly evil blood tiger actually handed over the tyrannical weapon in his hand, his entire body trembling with fear, and there was no trace of disobedience at all. Too strong. The power of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python is too strong. Even if Kaylin had just obtained the power of 10 colors, Tianxia Shuahu knew that he was definitely not an opponent. Whether it was the suppression of the monster's bloodline, or the fear that came from the depths of his soul. There is no need for a fight at all. The 4th weapon. The Demon Suppression Sword. The body of the 10,000 Zhong snake shadow behind Kaylin suddenly changed, turning into a small snake of 10 colors with arm lengths, quietly coiling on Kaylin's fragrant shoulders, staring at the evil blood tiger swallowing snake letter from time to time. But the majestic suppression and fear still did not weaken in any way. Suppressing Demon Sword. Seeing Tian Xieshui's attitude, and looking at the green sword body that was about the length of his arm in front of him, Xiao Yang could sense that if this tyrannical weapon was deployed, it might not be much less powerful than Zhu Shenkai. Of course, the activation of this tyrannical weapon seems to require extremely strange power. With the power of Kaylin or Tian Xieshuihu, it is impossible to exert its true power. However, the power of 10 colors and the fourth weapon in the demon world are not bad. It seems that this trip to the demon world did not come in vain. Kaylin had just held the demon suppression sword, and the power of 10 colors in her body and the accompanying snake spirit seemed to burst out with a very pleasant aura. The accompanying snake spirit has actually recovered. Xiao Yang watched this scene, his eyes could not help but wrinkle slightly. It seemed that there was some kind of weak connection between this demon suppressing sword and Shutsai swallowing python, which could actually suppress the snake spirit that had been suppressed and sealed by Shutsai's power wake up again. I don't know either. It seems that my companion spirit snake has been in a state of slumber and suppression since absorbing the power of those swallowing pythons. Now, under the influence of the demon suppressing sword, it has just woken up and reappeared by my side. Kaylin's calm and pretty face was dazed for a while, and her beautiful eyes kept hovering over the 10-colored snake spirit and the suppressing demon sword, but she was unable to detect the connection. Anyway, this is also a great good thing. After some inspection, they still found no trace. Xiao Yang and Cai Lin could only helplessly glance at each other, but their hearts became joyful. Now, the Zhenyan sword seems to be ordinary, but the terrifying power contained in it, even Xiao Yang exuded a trace of heart palpitations. Although it is still impossible to decipher and completely control the true power of this tyrannical weapon, Xiao Yang believes that this is only a matter of time for Kaylin. In time, the 10-colored sky-swallowing python that stunned the world will reappear in the world with the wrist of colorful scales. Boom! The formation of the 4 gods and beasts in the entire void was instantly shattered, allowing the place to regain its original appearance. After doing all this, Xiao Yang just set his sights on the Tianxia Shuahu. He naturally knew the ultimate purpose of this trip. 2 adults, don't leave me here alone. With my current quasi-7th level reincarnation strength, I can certainly do a lot for the 2 adults. Seeing Xiao Yang's bizarre movements, Tianxia Shuahu hurriedly pleaded. 10-colored swallowing python, if he can follow this lord, his future achievements will probably be limitless. The strength of the quasi-7th reincarnation rank may be very powerful, but in front of such ancient overlords, they are vulnerable. Seeing this, Kaylin hesitated for a while. Today, she is still unable to control the demon suppression sword and the power of Shutsai. The strength of the heavenly evil blood tiger is a quasi-7th level reincarnation. I have to say that there is still a certain threat. It's a pity that Kaylin underestimated the power of the Shutsai sky-swallowing python. You decide. Xiao Yang originally thought that there would be a fierce battle here, but who would have thought that it would be resolved in this way? He couldn't help but smile bitterly. Master Shutsai, although I am only at the level of the 7th reincarnation rank, I can follow you and protect you who have not yet grown up. The 10-colored sky-swallowing python is extremely powerful. Tianxia Shuahu seemed to want to continue talking, but when he saw Xiao Yang who was ferocious and vicious, he couldn't help but click his tongue slightly. Emotionally, these two are still husband and wife. I want to be the spirit of domination. Seeing Xiao Yang and the two ignoring them at all, Tianxia Shuahu suppressed the anger in their hearts and said unwillingly. It knows that its limit is the 7th layer reincarnation level, and it is absolutely impossible to break through this level in the future, but the 10-color swallowing python is different. It is almost an ancient monster that lives on the power of swallowing the sky. Okay, but you need to take out your demon core in exchange. Xiao Yang spoke lightly, and after speaking, he waited for the latter's actions. Xiao Yang just now was still full of doubts. How should he talk to this guy? He never expected it to come to the door by himself. Okay. When Tianxia Shuahu heard the words, there was a ferocious look in his huge eyes, but he quickly agreed. With its current strength, even if the demon core is taken away, as long as a demon core is recultivated within a few decades, there will not be too much damage, although it will lose a lot of source power, etc. Compared with the achievements, it is simply not worth mentioning. Bang! A moment later, the heavenly evil blood tiger made a move, and a dark black energy crystal quietly moved towards Xiao Yang. That is its demon core. In the demon world, it is called the demon nucleus by the creatures in the demon world. Don't look at such a small piece of energy crystal, the power contained in it. Even if Xiao Yang is now used for swallowing and refining, I am afraid it will take a tedious process. After all, this level of energy core, if it is not to be careful, I'm afraid it's very easy to explode and die. That is where the quasi-seventh-fold reincarnation level monsters have been refining their entire lives. Losing the demon core, the heavenly evil blood tiger instantly turned into a human appearance, with a pale face and weakly staring at the two of them. This is its final destiny, and it can only pray silently in the heart that Xiao Yang and the two are not liars, otherwise it can't be beaten. After all, the repression of the power of 10 colors makes it like a powerless blood tiger, and it can't make any waves at all. I'll let it try. Seeing that the latter was so refreshing, Kaylin quietly stretched out her arm, and there was a faint domineering gleam on the demon's suppressing sword, pointing to the heavenly evil blood tiger. Xiao Yang carefully put this demon core into the Emperor Yang ring, and his eyes were also fixed on the heavenly evil blood tiger. This demon-suppressing sword and the mighty vision of the power of 10 colors seem to have an extremely fatal attraction and suppression to monsters and beast. Thank you, Lord Shitsai. With Xiao Yang's instructing, the body of the heavenly evil blood tiger emerged, and the body of the huge monster trembled, turning into a beam of intense demonic streamer, blasting out towards the green demon sword. The suppressing demon sword hummed, and then there seemed to be a layer of blood-colored energy attached to the sword body, and it continued to spread towards the interior of the sword body. The body just got close to the body of the demon's sword, and an irresistible coercion tilted down from the body of the sword, resisting its entry. Feeling the innate repulsive aura, the blood-colored liquid transformed by the heavenly evil blood tiger exploded instantly, and a monstrous sound of anger filled the air. Before the latter attacked, the demon's suppressing sword trembled for a while, and finally ejected its figure abruptly. Immediately, this guy spurted out a mouthful of blood, staring at the demon's suppressing sword in astonishment. At this time, it was in a state of embarrassment, with wounds large and small on its body, but it ignored the injury and stared directly at the suppressing demon's sword. That's not what I meant. It seems, you are not qualified to be its sword spirit. Looking at the current scene, Kaylin said such a sentence in a mysterious way. The demon suppression sword is mysterious and unpredictable, and it ranks fourth among the artifacts in the demon world. Its power is self-evident. After the 3 trials, Tianxie Shuahu had to give up, clenching his teeth, looking unwilling. He has already exchanged the demon core. If you can't become the spirit of the demon sword, its loss will undoubtedly be the most deadly. You can follow me temporarily. We came to the demon world to solve the power of 10 colors. Seeing Tianxie Shuahu's relentless rampage, no matter how many times he was bounced off by the demon's suppressing sword, there was still no sign of giving up. Cai Lin nodded and lowered his eyebrows, sighing. Thank you, Lord Shitsai. In the end, the heavenly evil blood tiger could only give up his own thoughts and turned into a human figure, quietly following the two of them. Since this place is over, there is no need to stay here. Do you know how to get out of here? Xiao Yang asked. Leave the exit of Xixiang Cave, just under the sarcophagus of the cave. Then let's go. Hoo. After a while, Xiao Yang and Kaylin, carrying the tortured heavenly evil blood tiger by their side, rushed back towards the Haisha Longwolf station. Counting the time, the Black Devil Dragon Wolf should be about to leave the customs. The next thing is probably the center of the demon world, the place where the legendary ancient monsters are bristling with the strongest. And the legendary habitat of the colorful sky-swallowing python. When Xiao Yang and the others returned, in the demon city where the Black Evil Dragon Wolf was stationed, exciting scenes were being staged. Boom! In the huge demon city, countless demonic energy rose into the sky, and the deafening sound of fighting continued to sound. How is this going? Even though they were far apart, Xiao Yang's eyes couldn't help but twitch. With his sense of smell, he could easily sense the majestic energy in the demon city, and even a strange smell like the fragrance of petals, permeating this place. In the void. That scent even contains some kind of strange fluctuations that suppress demon power. I don't know, it seems that someone is attacking the demon city. Kaylin was also a little puzzled. Now that the demon world is basically stable, who would attack the demon city at this juncture? This is the fluctuation of the Tianxiong tyrant. Xiao Yang's eyes narrowed suddenly, as if he had noticed something. And that, the demon Lord Musk. The heavenly evil blood tiger, who was following the two of them, also looked surprised, but with his experience, he quickly discerned the source of the breath. Go. As soon as the voice fell, The three of them swept towards the center of the demon city in an instant. Boom! At this time, in the demon city, surrounded by countless green petals, the figure of a delicate woman dancing gracefully, constantly dancing in the air. Every time you dance, it will drive those weird petals to surging, and it actually suppresses the aura in the body of everyone in front of you. It's a miscalculation. The Heishan Longlang looked silent at this moment, looking at the two figures in front of him. His face was extremely ugly. The Tianxiong tyrant with the strength of the 4th-level reincarnation, and the 5-level reincarnation powerhouse who did not know where this guy recruited, the demon Lord Mus. Heisha Longwolf, times have changed. Originally, the demon realm area was naturally led by the demon emperor, but now that the demon emperor has stepped into the center of the demon realm, he can no longer intervene in the affairs of the lower realm. Even if he has reservations for you, this time you will definitely not be able to defeat me. You and I are both in the 4th tier, and the Bone Demon King has not yet left the customs. The world of the lower realm, it's time to change it. Tianxiong tyrant's gloomy laughter slowly emerged, and then his eyes were filled with turbidity. I've been waiting for this day for too long. It's time to change. Kill them. The demon Lord Musk beside him roared angrily. Hold your breath, absolutely can't absorb that weird aroma. Some of the strong commanders in the demon city also discovered some rules. HMPH. It's not certain who will kill the deer. Kill. Several roars and roars were intertwined. In the face of the death-defying counterattack of the army under the Heisha Longlang, Tianxiong tyrants flashed a touch of disdain in their eyes. The monstrous offensive and invisible aroma surged, and a little bit of attack nibbled away at this group of guys. Victory seems to be only a matter of time. In an instant, under this tense fight, a dazzling flame tore apart the world and suddenly appeared at the center of the fight. Eat my palm. The Tianxiong tyrant and the two had not yet clearly seen the figure in the flames in front of them. A pale and powerless figure descended from the sky again, directly raising the ancient fist covered with countless tiger stripes, and mercilessly smashed the chest of the two monsters. Past. It seems like an understatement, but with the latter's desperate power, it's almost a one-shot kill. Careful. The Heisha Longwolf didn't have time to rejoice, and hurriedly snorted coldly. He had just fought against these two powerhouses, and he clearly knew how intractable the strange powers on them were. Keep your breath. Before Xiao Yan could do anything, he could not help but feel that the evil spirits around him were eager to make contributions. Boom. The sudden and strange attack made Tianxiong tyrant's expressions congeal, and the two of them had endless demonic energy raging out of their bodies, and immediately hit the latter's tiger paw abruptly, a crisp sound like metal, iron and stone, resounding throughout the whirl. However, just after the fight, the vitality, even the vitality in the two people's bodies, was quickly passing away. It seems that the guy in front of them who is fighting against them is not an existence that they can deal with. Accidentally. I didn't hold back. When the evil blood tiger heard Xiao Yang's voice that day, he hurriedly took back his power, but unfortunately the figures of the two monsters in front of him had already turned into a pool of flesh. With the strength of the quasi-7th reincarnation rank, it is almost an instant kill to deal with such two incompetent monsters. Snoring. Looking at this scene, the monsters in the demon city under the command of the Tianxiong tyrant disarmed and surrendered. This seemingly thorny battle. It seems that after Xiao Yang and the three arrived, they broke away in the blink of an eye. This weak and pale black shadow actually wiped out the two monsters with one blow. This kind of strength is too appalling, even looking at this guy's respectful attitude towards Xiao Yang and the two. The strength and identity of these three people are so terrifying. Seeing such a terrifying scene, the Heishan Longlang coughed violently, and his eyelids couldn't stop beating. Xiao Yang's strength is already extremely terrifying, but how can the guys following him become more and more perverted? There seems to be something in that meat mud. Xiao Yang's head was full of black lines, but at this time, Kaylin's beautiful eyes were staring at the meat mud in the distance. Whether it was the power of 10 colors or the sword of suppressing the demon, they all released a slight wave to remind him. The fluctuations are not dramatic. There seems to be some strange power in the flesh, which is slowly beating out. This is. Looking at the pool of ***** and pungent meat mud, suddenly there was a monster beast covered with strange light. This guy looks like a kitten waiting to be fed, indescribably cute and dexterous. Most importantly, there is a light green flame on this little guy, rising slowly. At the moment when the light green flames gushed out, the many holy flames in Xiao Yang's body emitted a scorching aura. The power of homology, that is holy flame. Ranked 33rd on the holy flame list, heaven-smiting demon flame. At this moment, Xiao Yang's voice suddenly became sharp. Behind the sharp sound, there is a touch of indescribable ecstasy. During this trip to the demon world, not only did you get the suppressing demon sword, but you even captured 2 holy flames. Although Sheng Yang, who was ranked at the bottom, did not have much effect on Xiao Yang, but giving this kind of power to Kailin or Mu Yingying, it would serve multiple purposes. Wait, it's not over yet. There's something else. The next moment, the heavenly evil blood tiger stretched out his arm and directly penetrated into the puddle of flesh to grope, as if he was pulling something. After a while, a blood-colored demon halberd, which was only an inch long, slowly gushed out from the arm of the heavenly evil blood tiger, and a bundle of domineering, even with a heavy aura, permeated the heaven and earth. At the moment when this aura just emerged, there was a vaguely strange wave that caused many weak monsters to go berserk. The 10th of the 10 major weapons in the demon world, the silver-pointed blood halberd. At this moment, the leaders of the black dragon wolf and the demon beasts below had their pupils shrunk slightly and lost their voices in an instant. This video will end here.